You're watching Outsiders with your host, led by Rowan Dean, James Morrow, and I'm Rita Panahi. Now, the footy season may be over, but that doesn't mean the wokest sporting league in the country, the AFL, and its sycophantic media won't be virtue signalling their teeny tiny hearts out at every given opportunity. Oh yes, the miserable moaners have been out in force this week. Greater Western Sydney's Wacky Wednesday antics, including a skit involving a blow-up doll, saw the easily spooked football world in a spin, and the clueless, joyless Karen Brigade, who think they speak for all womankind, similarly triggered. Never mind that this end-of-year celebration for the Giants was a private affair behind closed doors and away from the public. It seems a bar staff member feeling aggrieved is grounds for big fines, suspensions. Heck, why stop there? Why don't we just tar and feather the leadership group just to drive the point home? So an off-colour act involving a blow-up doll is the grievous offence that saw multiple players punished with 2 to 4 week suspensions and $5,000 fines. In total, 6 players were suspended and 7 fined. There's unconfirmed scuttlebutt that the aggrieved bar staff member wasn't even present for this inappropriate skit, but saw it on CCTV footage, which would make the whole saga that much more ridiculous. Folks have to learn that being offended doesn't necessarily mean you're right. It just means you're offended. People get offended by all sorts of things. I'm offended by Rowan's awful musical choices on this program. James's tie collection upsets me. I mean, some people just live to be offended. And for the record, I'm not defending the behaviour of the Giants, mainly because right now we still don't know precisely what was involved in this skit, what happened, other than it was perfectly legal, but in poor taste. It's a little sad that I need to point this out, but people are allowed to behave in poor taste at a private function when nothing illegal took place. Even the normally spineless and painfully woke AFL Players Association released a statement on Friday slamming the league for its treatment of the GWS players. It argued the sanctions were disproportionate, that the players were interviewed without independent support, were given unreasonable timeframes to respond, and the AFL did not make relevant materials available to them, and that the process lacked procedural fairness, and procedural fairness is critical to ensuring integrity and confidence in AFL processes. But the absurdity did not end there. Yesterday, the GWS Giants women's team played a woeful game in the AFLW, which seems to be as much a leftist political movement as a sporting organisation. The AFLW Giants lost to Hawthorn by a big margin. They only scored 3 goals in the whole game, going down 61-24 to Hawthorn, and immediately it was the men's teams that were blamed for the loss. You see, according to the coach, the female players have sustained emotional damage just hearing about this end-of-season party. He said there's a big emotional toll that is on just the whole playing group, everyone inside the footy club with the actions of what happened. You see a lot of emotional fatigue, probably late in the game. But I was so proud that they came out and played a strong brand of footy. What an absolute clown show. You'd think the AFLW Giants would be more concerned about why they only kicked 3 goals in a whole game, or why they only drew 1,000 people to their last home game a week ago. Before the AFL and its miserable band of leftist feminists, male and female, causing offence is the unforgivable sin. These are the types of people who can't tell you what a woman is, that never say anything consequential about issues that really matter, like the levels of domestic violence in Indigenous communities, and who think sex work is empowering, but they feel outraged on behalf of a blow-up doll. They argue that act with the blow-up doll sexualises women, and that's unacceptable. I guess they'd prefer the Giants to have their Wacky Wednesday at a strip club with real women being sexualised.